I'm Fararri Barbii, voice of the bad bitches, and welcome to my new show, Bad Bitch Bootcamp. This isn't your average female podcast. We don't do drama, makeup trends, breakups. That's lame. We talk real game. And it's a lot of bad bitches out here, and I'm not talking about beauty and body. It's too many pretty bitches out here with no game, no brains, and no money. So at Bad Bitch Bootcamp, we're going to make basic bitches badder and bad bitches better. Now let me tell you about my next guest. He's 4-time International Pimp of the Year, producer and star of Pimps Up, Hoes Down. He also starred in American Pimp, and he's featured on 50 Cent's mega hit, P.I.M.P. Mr. Pimpin' Ken Ivy.
Yeah.
But is it all right if I call you Pimpin' Ken?
Yeah, you can call me Ken Ivy.
Okay, so since leaving the game, you became a literary agent. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, you know, when I was in prison, the first book I ever read was Iceberg Slim, Pimp, the Story of My Life. So when I was reading the book, you know, it took me like 3 months to read because I couldn't read that good. And, you know, eventually I read the book. And in prison, you pass the book through the cell. So a lot of people are like, man, pass that motherfucking book, you know. So I'm taking all along, then down the goings. And, you know, it really inspired me to read. So when I finally did my book deal with Simon Schuster, Pimpology, the 48 Laws of Game, I seen it was fitting that I do the same thing for other people that the Iceberg Slim book did for me with the publishing company. I asked them, can I become a literary agent? At the same time, I want to start the Ken Ivy Literary Foundation, which teaches young African-American and, you know, poor children throughout the ghetto how to read. You know, because that's how you learn how to read, through reading. You know, so it's easy for me to say I got a Boosie book, then I got a Boosie album, I got a Rick Ross book, then I got an album, you see? And then that leads to other books. And now, you know, I went to college, got a 4-point average, you know, read over 1,000 books, you know, wrote 2 books. So, you know, just from reading and inspiring young people to read, and by starting this literary agency, I believe that I'm gonna be able to inspire a lot of people in the ghetto to read. So that's one of the reasons why I initiated and started the Literary Foundation, Ken Ivy's Literary Foundation.
Okay. And your book, Pimpology, The 48 Laws of Game. Mm-hmm. I read that book, and I've actually grown up.
Did you learn anything?
I mean, I've learned it all my whole life. I've grown up, and pimps have been kicking that shit to me for a long time.
So you Pimping and Hoes is the best thing going then, right?
I mean, it's all that I've ever known, but I also apply a lot of the same rules from hoeing into regular life, which is what I found so interesting about your book. But what I wanted to know was, from transitioning from the game into business, like, did you have any hard situations that you felt like the game helped you overcome? Well,
the problem I had, the hoes didn't want to let me out the game. So every time I tried to get out the game, another bitch bring me a bag of money. So it was like I was steady getting chose as I was trying to exit out the game. You know what I'm saying? So being some hoe called me from New York or called me from San Diego or from somewhere, hey, daddy, I'm trying to choose up. So that was the hardest thing, to turn down money. Yeah. When you were so used to receiving money, you didn't have to make money on your own. So, you know, once I was able to, you know, do that, it was easy to you know, but really it was kind of easy when you think about the Pimps Up, Hoes Down situation. They gave me a bag, they let me be the consultant for the film, and they allowed me to star in the film. That was my first ever real check. So I knew then that, you know, I was on to something. At that point, I started my own movie. So I did my own movie called Pimpology. The 40 is Pimpology, the Uncut. So when we did that, you know, then I started seeing real money. I got a deal with Scriptmaster, which was the same company that was dealing with R. Kelly and all the young, Luke Nasty, I know you remember him from Miami. So that transition, you know, all that was beginning, but, you know, once I actually got into the real aspect of the business where I'm making real money, millions, then, you know, it was like, yeah, it was easy. Because I know that, you know, the biggest trap I ever got one time was 30,000, you know. And shout out, you know who he is, mama, you know. I just say baby, you know, she gave me 30,000 one night, so that was the biggest trap I ever got. Yeah. But, you know, of course, you know, like I said, I got $250,000 just for one book, you know, and I made millions doing a whole lot of other things. So it's a matter of, you know, one, you know, using his intelligence, you know, do you want to take the little money, the big money? You know, do I miss the game? Yeah, you know, who don't miss somebody, you know, sock it to your pocket like a rocket.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
But you say that the game applies, the rules of the game that you followed in Pimpin apply to a lot of situations in
Absolutely.
life.
You know, if you got a stable host, you got a stable employees. You know what I'm saying? The same principles, you know, loyalty and, you know, all the principles that we got in the game, you know, getting out of pocket. You know, if you work for Wendy's and you go over to McDonald's, you're out of pocket.
Right.
Whether you want to call it that or not, you know what I'm saying? So we look at it, you know, in the same perspective. You know, like I said, you know, if I went to McDonald's, I ordered 2 beef patty special sauce, lettuce, pickles on the sesame seed bun, which is a Big Mac, right? I had to go to window 1 and pay for the Big Mac and get the Big Mac in window 2. So I said purge first and ask last. And I got to meat on my Peter. The longer bitch stays, the longer bitch got to pay. So if you want to see what I'm working with, you got to pay me first. And you're going to have to go in the rear like a Benz tail light. I'm going to call you back blinking when I get to put the charge on you. So, you know what I mean? You're definitely going to get a charge, you know, and that's value. So that's what anything that's value, you put a charge on this person, a Picasso, or let's say a Mona Lisa. You know, they're worth millions of dollars because they're value. So a pimp objective is to put value on a company like, you know, like my company, the HHF, the Hip Hop Fraternity. You know, I try to raise the value of the company because, you know, even on the T ledger, on the ledger in the business thing, when you file your taxes, you know, your company even have a certain value. So as a pimp back in the day, I had to have value because the bitch ain't gonna pay me if I was a bum ass nigga, you know. But if I'm wearing the Armani suits and I got the, you know, the Benzes and the Rolls Royce, and I'm taking, bitch see me doing something proper with the next bitch money. Oh, he's a good manager and my hoes looking good. They're gonna pay for it. But the same thing, if you got good customer service, you know, if you know you walk into a nice establishment, they're gonna pay you. So it's always the same. You know, chicken and feathers. You know, you can eat the chickens, but you can't eat the feathers. Right. You dig?
Well, one of the questions I do remember is, do you go hard on your employees in corporate America like you did on your hoes?
Of course. You know, I got, I mean, my artists, you know, even in the Hip Hop Fraternity, I stay on them. You know, I just got off the phone arguing with one of them today. Like, man, you got to stay on, you got to keep your thing, you know, because, you know, the principles that you learn, whether you pimping or whether you're in the square life, wherever you go, you take yourself with you.
Right.
So I'm still pimping Ken, you know, I'm still applying pressure. I'm still putting them down like an Idaho potato, you know, and planting them and digging them later, but, you know, it's just on a whole nother level.
Right.
You know, I'm still mashing with no passion for my ration, you know what I mean? I still want the bag, but, you know, we're just doing it differently, right? And so a lot of times, you know, when you have the skill sets that I have, I impute that into my artists. I impute that into my employees. I got 100 executives work for me, you know, around the country. We got 30 chapters. So, you know what I mean? A lot of principles that I applied in the game, I got to apply in the thing, you know, and I got zero tolerance. The brothers will tell you, you know, if you ain't acting right with me, I'll give you a Chinese name, one gone, just like I used to do a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Bitch out of pocket, she ain't get my money, she ain't meet my standards, she corrupted other hoes, she got to go. You know, because now she creating a pattern that these other hoes gonna be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Me, daddy let her get away with it. So I don't let no bitch out of pocket in my household. All bitches, when I was in the game, they had to be stand-up bitches, you know what I'm saying? So if you a partner of mine, if we in business, you gotta be a stand-up nigga. Because everywhere I go, I take myself with me. I've got them principles with me 24/7. It's in me, you know what I mean? Not on me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't sworn, I was born with this shit. So you know what I'm saying? Whatever you see is what you get.
You talk about you started a corporation or organization, the Hip Hop Fraternity. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the Hip Hop Fraternity is a collage of different people in the hip hop community, you know, lawyers, doctors, A&Rs, producers. So we come together every Monday. We meet and we exchange knowledge. You know, your skill set is your asset, so everybody brings a different value. We share each other videos, you know, so we created our own social media. So when IG went out, we were still up at hiphopfraternity.com. So, you know, they can pass out pictures, they can, you know, do videos and stuff like that because it's our culture and our call. You know, we believe that we should be the gatekeepers. You know, like I said, coming from the pimp world, I think that the record labels are pimping the artists because they get artists 15% royalty on their intellectual property, they keep 85%. So, for example, just imagine if I gave you $1 million, if we made $1 million off one of your tracks, you made a song. Well, I keep $850,000, you only get $150,000. That's pimping. That's a major pimping. So what I'm doing is I'm waking the brothers up. I'm throwing the alarm clock in the graveyard. I'm tiptoe past the medicine cabinet so I can wake up the sleeping pills, you know, because they sleep. So we've taken them and put them on another level. We teach them about cryptology. We teach them about the blockchain, NFTs. We teach them about NFCs. We teach them about ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, the music industry. So that's what the Hip Hop Fraternity is about. Brothers and sisters coming together, teaching one another, you know, showing that love, peace, respect, which is our core values. You know, and me being the spearhead and the leader of the organization, my objective is to create many me's and put you know, in every city have a brother or a sister as qualified as I am to teach those same principles in their city. And if we do that on a mass level, then we'll be able to control the world.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. So, in one of your chapters of your book, it's called Burnouts To Turnouts. Okay. So I have one question about that. So, in the business world, when do you know that you're like investing money, or in my interpretation of it was like if I'm in business and I'm just putting money into something that's not returning in my investment, that would be considered a burnout, and I would need a turnout, a new
well, you
business,
know,
right?
You know, in every corporate structure, you know, you have the old guard and the new guard. You know, as the old guard moves out, you know, you can't breathe in, you can't inhale new air unless you exhale old air. You know, in with the new, out with the old. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, when employees be around for a long time, they become disgruntled. You know, they complain a lot. You know, they always talking about, we didn't do this and we didn't do that, and they always discouraging new turnouts, you know, new people. So when I talk about in the game, I say I'd rather have a burnout than turnout, because like, say for instance, you know, since you're in the game, you understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure your audience may know. If you was been in the game 10 years, you had 5 pimps, you know what I mean, you burnt out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn, these niggas ain't doing nothing for me. I might as well hold for myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't getting nothing out this shit. I gave this nigga $1 million, gave this nigga $1 million, and I ain't got shit. All these niggas want to do is drink syrup and pop pills with my money.
But why is that?
Well, in answer to your question, you said burnout, right?
Yeah.
So you burnt out on that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's better to get somebody that's a turnout than a burnout, because now, you know what I'm saying, I don't have to try to go behind the next man pimping, you know, or miss pimping. Because a lot of times people miss pimp. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't get a bitch what she deserves. They giving her destruction instead of instruction. So she got a bad taste. Pimping tastes like cat shit in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so she don't want to fuck with these certain niggas anymore. So, you know, you got to get somebody new. You got to teach them the game. You know, just like, you know, same thing when somebody been working in a company for a long time. You know, they get disgruntled, you know, they complain a lot, and they upset. You know what I mean? They become complacent. It's a comfort zone for them. You know, people don't want to get out their comfort zone. You know, I don't know if you ever took the IQ test. Have you ever took the IQ test?
No.
Well, an IQ test is a triangle, and there's dots on each one of these triangles. In order to connect these dots, you got to connect all of them in order to pass the test. Nobody hardly ever passed that test. You know why? Because the only way you can get out there, the only way you connect, you got to go outside the box and then come back in. You know, and that's the problem. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they want to stay in the same box. They want to do the same thing. And it's hard to see when you're in the box, because when you're in the box, you can't see the label. When you're in the frame, you can't see the picture, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so most times people be complacent and they get caught up in that. And, you know, that's the problem. You know, like I said, a lot of people, you know, in the game, you know, same thing. You know what I'm saying? They get caught up in certain things and they don't know. But why is that the part that people do drugs and all that shit?
No, that, okay, for instance, it was later in my interview, but let's just talk about it now. So,
let's go.
In my experience in the game, being a down bitch or seeing a down bitch with somebody for a long time and doing everything she's supposed to do, and I guess somebody would consider that a burnout because she's been there for so long and has received nothing. But coming from a host perspective, isn't that bad business? Because
you're talking about somebody being with somebody and not getting nothing out the deal?
Right.
That's
Isn't that bad business?
When you come in the game, you came from management, right?
Right.
That's damagement.
Right.
That's what they didn't have management; they had damagement.
But a hoe is thinking, I'm staying down until we come up, and I'm gonna stay here and be loyal.
You know what she did? She stayed down and came up. But what she was doing, she was paying a fixed up garbage can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she was paying a stop sign. You know, she wasn't going nowhere.
Right.
She thought she was home, but she was tippy throwing. She thought she was home, but she was hoboing.
But it's more common in the game.
Yeah, she went from a champ to a tramp. You know what I'm saying? From a boss bitch to a false bitch because she had mismanagement.
Right.
But when you got a real motherfucker and a nigga that's really down in this game, you know what I'm saying, he gonna take you to the other levels. You see what I'm saying? That's the purpose of the game. If I can't elevate you, then you don't need to be fucking with me.
Exactly.
If I can't take you to the next level, you know what I'm saying, if we start off with a Cadillac, we should end up with a Rolls Royce.
Exactly.
You know, and if you look at Pimps Up, Hoes Down, you see all my bitches had on minks and diamonds. You know what I'm saying? I was the flyest nigga there.
Yeah.
Sorry, pimps, but I was the flyest nigga there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even me, you know, custom suits with 24 karat gold, but my hoes took care of me and I took care of my hoes. I had when I bought designer jewelry, my hoes got designer jewelry. And I'm gonna tell you why. Barbie. And this gonna go over a lot of niggas' head, but I'm gonna tell you why. If I bought you a coat, right? You probably read this in my book I paid $10,000 for a coat.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it in the streets. And I gave you that coat, and I told you the coat was $10,000.
Right.
And I said, baby, we're gonna put it on layaway instead of buying it outright. Then you feel more apt to go and get the money if you know you got something to work up towards.
Right.
So it's always motivation. So you know, if I went and bought the jewelry at the middle of the mall, they have it that day. But if I go drop $5,000 down on it and they get a $20,000 piece customized with all their shit on it, then you know they got something to work towards. And then when they accomplish that mission, that motivation, they feel a lot better by the accomplishment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I pimped. You know, when I was pimping, I made sure that everybody was happy. I made sure everybody accomplished something, everybody feel motivated. Because if not, then it become complacent. You get to playing Xboxes and looking at soap operas and shit, and bitch look at me looking for some pimping, and you know, I'm like, where's my pimping at? Like I'm looking for my cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? But when you know, you constantly, you know, and I hate to be, because I'm a professional man now, but I just want people to know we just talking, you know, as a reflection. But I'd like to tell brothers, man, you cannot really have a bitch that's really down with you if you're not giving her instructions. Right. You know, that's what pimping is, instructions. Hey, mommy, you know, go down there and pay for this bill. Hey, mommy, go cook me some eggs. Mommy, you know, this, you know what I'm saying? A hoe is different. She wired different than a square bitch. You know what I'm saying? A square bitch, you know, she want to be all that other shit. You know, a hoe, you know what I'm saying? A hoe want instructions. Yeah, she want instructions. You know, she wants you to kick some game out your mouth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, she can sit with a trick and get the same information. So when she come home, she want to be able to watch the trick off her and feel comfortable and know that she with a pimp. You know what I mean? Because she been fucking with crazy tricks all day, been cussing her out, you know, just talking sex and all that, you know, and the bitch is frustrated. You know, so when she come home, she wants some real pimping and she wants some real instruction. And that's what a lot of guys don't do. And that's why they can't maintain. And every nigga watching, average bitch fuck with me stay 4 years or better. I had a couple flights, you know, fly-by-night bitches, but they stayed years because it was always adventurous. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I never kept a bitch in Miami. We stay in Miami a month. You know what I'm saying? Bam, let's go to Hawaii. We go to Hawaii. You know, I gave, you know, because I didn't want her to get too comfortable with Miami. Right. Not too comfortable. I don't want her to feel like home. We working, we hustling, we getting money. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, you got, and from a psychological standpoint, she got to know that. Right. You know what I mean? Otherwise, she'll become complacent. She'll start feeling like a square. You know, and that's why a lot of bitches get out on niggas, because they be like thinking there's some square shit going on. Right. And I know you heard bitches call you plenty of times like, girl, this nigga on some square shit. I thought 100%. He was on some pimping, you know what I'm saying? But with me having that advantage and being taught by some of the greatest pimps in the world, you know what I'm saying? And being a young nigga and this shit starting at 16 and just looking at my mistakes, I knew what I had to do in order for me to win and for them to win. I couldn't win if they didn't win. Because you know, as a hoe, hoes see the money first. Yeah. We never see the money till y'all come home. So we got to have some game for that money to make it back home. Otherwise, you're going to get that phone call. Hey, man, this Pimpin' Kid, man, I'm here to serve you news, blow your fuse, and put your bitch up under some new rules. You can break the plate. That bitch don't eat there no more. You know what I'm saying, man? You think like, what? And, you know, you don't got no real pimpin'. You go like, man, I thought she loved me. You know what I'm saying? You know how that shit go.
So did your bitches have an exit plan, and are they straight and successful after retiring from the game as well?
Well, you know, it's two type of bitches, right? It's the bitches that stick, stay, and pay. Then there's bitches that say, hey, and be on their motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those two different type of bitches. Now, the bitches that say, hey, and be on their way, you never know how they turn out. But the bitches that stick, stay, and pay, you know what I'm saying, they're going to always have the game. You know, like I said, you know, my bitches didn't sell pussy, they sold pussyality. Right. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, when you fucking on the trick or you breaking the trick, you know, a lot of bitches don't even know how to run a trick up. You know, you go in the VIP room with my bitch, you gonna be dead broke. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because she got so much game. I'm giving the bitch so much game on how to break the trick. You know, how to use a rookie bitch. You know, my bitch will bring a rookie bitch in the VIP room in a minute. You know, have her, you know, fucking suck. But she gonna be ordering motherfucking goddamn it, Coca-Cola, and then put $2,000 gratuities on that motherfucker. And the club is working with her. She paying everybody. She paying the guard. She paying the security guard. She paying the club. She leaving up out there at $10,000-15,000. And they sold an inch of pussy. You know what I'm saying? Because you sell pussyality. You know, so it depends on that. And then when you get that bitch that kind of game, now listen, it ain't the money that you leave with. You know, I'd rather run out of money before I run out of game. Right. It's the game that you leave with. Right. When you give a bitch a whole bunch of game, guarantee I don't give a fuck who she is. I guarantee you, when she leave you, she gonna be all right.
Right.
You know, so that's the key. You know, it ain't about the money and the material things. It's the game, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that a bitch leave when she leave out your household. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bitches, you know, to this day call me, damn, Ken, you know what I'm saying? I can't fuck with no other nigga because I can't match the game. Because, you know, even I got a bitch call me, how she 58 years old. You know, she called me today. I talked to her. She said, you know, I still use some of the game that you gave me. You know, because it was never about pussy selling. You know, she was always about the mental, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, she said, I still use some of the game you got, and she's doing pretty well for herself. Gucci bags, Fendi, you know, I'm talking about 58 years old, you know, riding slick, you know, so it's the game. You know, like I said, you know, you can take all my money. You can take all this shit. You can take all this Boosie deals. You can take HHF, all that shit. Just give me my game. I'll be back.
Right.
I'll be back to see you. Give me a couple months. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pass you twice.
Right. You, a pimp, but a hoe who stays around for so long. That's what I'm saying. Like, women want to achieve and get sold dreams of success, and then pimping is straight.
Do you got a man?
Do I have a man?
Yeah. I mean, do you got a guy?
No.
Okay. Have you ever had a guy?
Yes.
So when you got that
I'm
guy,
retired.
when you got that guy, right? So
Right.
so you a reflection of your guy, right?
Exactly.
So see, women are men are actors, women are reactors. So what that means is whatever in me gonna be in you. So if I'm gonna be straight, if you got my game, you gonna be straight. Actually, you gonna be actually better. You gonna be straighter than me because you gonna have access to the money. I don't lay down with tricks. I can't. I don't do dates.
Yeah, but hoes don't want to hoe forever.
No, they don't have to hold forever.
They want to invest in, well, in my experience, hoes want to invest. They're making investments.
Can I give you a
This is
couple examples?
business.
Two hoes that used to fuck with me?
Yes.
Well, one of them got a PhD. She's a college professor right now.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, another one, she has her own trucking company.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we have a son together. You know what I'm saying? Me, so, you know, I mean, yeah.
Those are the answers I was looking for.
Yeah, that definitely.
Those are the answers I'm looking for.
That's why I say the game.
That's what I'm trying to encourage into young bad bitches. Is you got to get more than Fendi and Gucci and all that shit.
Hey,
we want big businesses. We don't want Birkins. We want buildings.
Barbie, what I say? Turn them ins into dividends.
Yeah.
Same thing for the young pimps out there. You know, you got to, you know, it's ain't no after pimp, ain't no pension fund for pimp. So you got to be able to have gain to go to the next level. Like I said in my book, in every situation there's a pimp and a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Me, Uncle Sam, he said, break yourself we got April 15 coming up. Break yourself, you don't, he's gonna put you up under pimp arrest.
Right.
So you understand me? We understand from the game that you got to be able to pimp on different levels. You got to be able to switch your game up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be able to go from the ghetto streets to the exec streets, from the ghetto blocks to the Wall Street, from the sewer to the motherfucking entrepreneur.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if you don't, you just was in the game in vain. Like I give hoes a lot of credit. Big up to the hoes because
Big up to the hoes.
Hey, big up to the hoes.
Big up to the hoes.
Because the hoes really can build a man, and they can really give him a start. A hoe can be a real starter kit for a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Me, give him $1 million, give him a couple $100,000. If you take that money, invest in real estate. Like I got 4 houses that I bought years ago. I named them out to every bitch I used to have. So I'm still getting paid for them hoes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm buying property. I'm doing constructive shit with the money. You know what I'm saying? And a hoe could do the same thing. You know, nowadays a lot of these hoes they renegades and they freelancing. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, don't take your money and throw it away. Take your money, invest in something. Invest in some Bitcoin, and I guarantee you're gonna see an ROI, a return on your investment.
Well, unfortunately, the game is not the same, and these pimps are on some bullshit. So these bitches have nothing to look up to. It's very small and few and far between of anybody representing real game and real pimping in any situation. That's how I feel about the industry. It's very hoes are publicized now in hip hop. Cardi B, City Girls, Megan Thee Stallion. Those are square bitches. Cardi B was a stripper, but you know. Those are square bitches talking about some hoe shit, and I'm sick of it. So that's why I feel like
you feel like me then.
It's appropriate to have a conversation with you and kick your real shit because you're influencing hip hop now in another way.
Well, you know what I try to do when 50 Cent and Nelly and Slim Calhoun and all of them came to me back in the day. You know what I'm saying? What I want to do is I wanted to, you know, ain't often I speak of love, right? When I speak of love, it's on pimping, I'm speaking of. So I love pimping, right? So I wanted to show the world, you know, how we talk, you know, how we walk, you know, our character. So when I got on those albums, I was trying to promote the game.
Right.
But a lot of people, you know, they got in the game and they miss pimp. You know what I'm saying? Miss pimp ain't no pimping at all. You know what I mean? They start making deals with hoes. You know what I'm saying? I call them Marty Halls. And they start making deals with hoes. They start, you know, doing square shit. And then, you know, hoes got smarter. You know what I'm saying? I guess this, a lot of pimps ain't gonna like this, but pimps up, hoes down was the worst thing that ever happened to the game. Want me to tell you why?
Why?
Because it gave hoes an option. You know what I'm saying? Used to be, hoes used to look at, you know, a nigga and be like, damn, he fine. Girl, that motherfucker, he handsome. Ooh, look at his car. And the catching came before the hanging. You know what I'm saying? We had a chance to groom the bitch and get the bitch some game and, you know, and bring on into the horn, right? Now, you know what I'm saying, she get on the internet on motherfucking goddamn YouTube and she got more game than the pimp. Like, nigga, go on, boy, go somewhere, boy, quit playing. Pimpin' Kid already said that, Don Juan said that, you know what I'm saying? So now, you know, a lot of the guys, you know, they can't really just get up under bitches like they used to, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, when I was pimping, right, you know, it was a track. I don't know if you know what a track is.
Of course.
Well, the track, you know, that's where hoes and pimps get famous at, right?
Yeah.
So bitches really had to be hoeing, you know, and really be getting some money. So what happened was, you know, first came the escort service.
Right.
You know, just like the iPhone. Then the iPhone 3 became the motherfucking, the lines. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then it became really crazy. It became Backpage. So the game evolved. So by the time we get to Backpage, you know what I'm saying? So you with me, I take you, I turn you out, me and we get money, we in the hotel, we jump from the hotel, we stay in the best hotels, and then all of a sudden you get upset with me. Now you say, nigga, fuck you. And you just go right across the street to the Marriott, you put you some fake pictures up, post the pictures up, get a new number,
right,
and you still catching dates, you still get money.
Right.
I'm holeless and doleless. But in the game, when the track, you couldn't do that. You know, if you left me, you had to go choose up with another pimp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you didn't choose up with another pimp, they're gonna put you under pimp arrest. Or the hoes gonna sweat you like, get the fuck up off the track, bitch, you fucking up hoe money.
I miss those days.
Yeah, so that's what so you know what I'm talking about. So that's the era that I come up. So this era, it really makes it hard. See, like, I ain't gonna say no name, but y'all probably know who I'm talking about. It's this one guy, he's a pimp. And he be on the internet all the time. He's a rapper too. You know, but he got his girl sell feet fetish. Okay. And he made millions of dollars doing it. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to transition, you know what I'm saying, and be able to flip the game and see how to, you know, make money out the game now. So, you know what I mean? Some guys, they get it, but the most of them, it's gonna be hard for them, you know, because the game is so, it's so fickle now. It's like, it's so different, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I talk to guys, they say they pimps, I just listen to them and I be like, damn. So this nigga ain't got a pimp on his body. I hate to throw him off the Empire State Building because he's gonna splash like Jello. He ain't got no pimp protection. You know what I'm saying? That's just how the game is. So you know, we definitely understand what you're saying. We understand there's a lot of bullshit, you know, and women just smarter. But women always been smart. I told niggas in my last book, The Art of Human Chess, I said, man, take a real motherfucking master to be able to deal with a real woman because y'all 7 times smarter than us. Y'all 7 years advanced over men.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so women, you know, y'all, you know, we, you know what I'm saying? You know, we don't know what's coming. We come home sometime and, you know, y'all done did all kind of research on the internet and shit like that, and we fit a lie, and then, you know, you just be sitting there just like you sitting there, and, you know, and we know we lying. And like we lying, and you just like an airplane. You know, how airplane, it hovers around the airport. Yeah. And then it finally land, motherfucker, you lying. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Ken, do you mind if I smoke?
Go ahead.
I'm a real California bitch ginger. I love to smoke some good weed. Shout out to High Tolerance.
Slabalicious.
The best weed I've ever smoked.
I might take a hit. I smoke, hey, that one guy got me to drink some liquor on this day. I ain't really smoke no weed. They'd really be laughing at me.
Oh, we'll be here all day talking real shit. That we can't give that to them. That's too much.
I ain't smoking no weed.
But this is Slabalicious. This shit tastes so good.
I don't smoke Indo, don't play Nintendo, and damn sure ain't Pretendo. Oh boy.
So I have another question regarding the hip hop politics. How do you feel about the YSL case? Shout out Free Young Thug. If hip hop lyrics can get you indicted, do you think it's going to change the game?
Well, you know, the Constitution has always been a weird document, right? Because, you know, they say slavery ended, right? The 13th, 14th Amendment ended slavery, but yet, you know, we got mass incarceration in prison. So when you think about mass incarceration, you think about how prisons exist, then you can get to the young thug. Because, you know, America's 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's incarceration. In terms of eligibility of people going to jail, only 6% of eligible black men that can go to jail, but yet they 50% of the prison system. So them using thug as a catapult to take them into the next level and start indicting gangs under the RICO Act. Now that means that somebody commit a crime that ain't got nothing to do with it, they can charge all of us because we're in the same gang. You know, continued criminal enterprise. So I think that thug is just a case study of what they want to do to the entire community, because, you know, the people that went to jail in the 80s for the crack, they didn't got ground. So now they need a whole new system of people, young people, to come in that they can finish, you know what I'm saying, doing their job. Because you got to remember, when they built them prisons back in the day, they had correctional officers, they got people that's employed, people that got jobs. So these jobs got to continue. So they did create a hotel for young black, brown, and yellow men. So what that means, if you got a hotel, you got to have what? Occupancies, right? So they got to occupy these prisons. So, you know, Thug is a good person to use an example, but, you know, the lyrics that he said, you know, should not be used, because the First Amendment of the Constitution give us a right, you know, to freedom of speech. But in this case, you know, it's a contradiction. And that's one thing about the law. They can make them and they can break them whenever they want to. So, you know, I think that Young Thug, you know, I said this in one interview a long time. I said that what's going to happen, they're going to give them so many charges that the people going to start breaking and start snitching. I was 100% correct. I prognosticated that like I was Nostradamus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now they tell it. Yeah. You know, everybody trying to get out, because that's what they did back in the 80s. People don't remember that. When they first started giving brothers conspiracy cases, they was giving them life. So a lot of them didn't want to do life, so they just start folding and start snitching. And that's what's happening with, you know, a lot of these so-called gangs and stuff like that. So that's why every time I committed a crime, I never had a co-defendant. I was always by myself. Not that I was worried about snitches, I just knew I couldn't snitch on myself. You know, and I think that that's what a lot of people, young people, need to do. You know what I'm saying? First of all, quit rapping about what you do on lyrics, you know, on video. That's not never cool, because they say whatever you say can be used against you in a court of law. And that's the case where they're using the words against Young Thug in a court of law. So you never want to talk about what you're doing, period. You know, even, you know, it's some shit that I done, my mama won't even know. You know, she like, boy, did you do that? No, I ain't did nothing, mama. You know, because I ain't finna snitch on myself. And I think that, you know, that's the case with a lot of these young people. But, you know, YSL, you know, I think that when all those brothers got on there and said that, you know, it was a gang, I think that that's when they really hurt the Thug's case. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't think they was telling, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they was admitting to something that can come back and bite their partner, you know? And, you know, a lot of guys, you know, they probably got the analogy, well, what was that nigga at when they was over there, you know, they was having all that money, they went around, you know, and that's just the nature. You know, people, they usually start at your feet, and then they end up at your throat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know what I mean, you got to be careful, you know, who you deal with. I got a saying, you know, get rid of the dead weight. If I put a 10-pound book pack on your back, you know what I'm saying, you want to get rid of it because it's going to make you feel lighter. You know, and then I give another analogy with the eagle. The eagle is the most profound of the human birds. When the eagle flies, it glides, you know what I'm saying? It got, his wings 9 feet. When the eagle see another pigeon, or he see a pigeon or something, he fly higher, because he know he's flying too low unless he want to eat that pigeon. You know, chickens, chickens can't jump but 3 feet. You know what I'm saying? That's why they can't never be with an eagle, because when eagles make love, they make love in the air, you know, and chickens, they can't go but 3 feet. I ain't got nothing against a chicken, I ate one today. You know what I'm saying? Me and chicken is cool. You know, keep on being a chicken. But the eagle, when he see his prey, he can see 100 miles away. The eagle's flaw is when he see a weasel. He go down and he clamp into the weasel, put the weasel to his head, he go up 10,000 feet, ascend 10,000 feet, then he descend 10,000 feet to his death, because the weasel eats his heart out. And that's like some weasel bitches, some weasel ass niggas, you know what I'm saying? They all in your business, you know what I'm saying? They stressing you out, you know what I'm saying? About to make you have a cardiac arrest around this bitch, you know what I'm saying? They just so fucked up, you know what I mean? And you gotta get rid of them people, you can't let them go, you gotta let them go. And the eagle never let the weasel go. And every time you hear about eagle dying, it's Jim because he ate the wrong weasel. And every time you hear about a nigga going to jail, usually he was fucking with some weasel ass nigga, little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Me losing her man to another bitch is because she was fucking with a weasel ass bitch.
100%. I totally. That's a great perspective.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this book. I was looking in this book and I had seen a picture of you and Boosie. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, you know, Boosie and I, you know, we go back a long time. You know, when I first met him, you know, he was in Milwaukee. He didn't have a mink coat. So I gave one of my mink coats. And I had several mink coats. So I just gave him one. He reached in his pocket, gave me a wad of money. I didn't ask for it. And from then we became friends. And then, you know, later on in the game, you know, a partner of mine, Steve Love, you know, who I'm business partners with, you know, we started dealing with him on liquor and, you know, Boosie cologne and stuff like that. You know, just basically seeing him as a mogul, you know, and trying to do whatever we can to try to impute wisdom in him. So Steve came to me and said, man, look, let's take this to the next level. Let's get Boosie a book deal. So I went, you know, to my publishing company and I said, you know, I already got the literary program. I'm trying to inspire young people to read. You know, I said, let's start with Boosie, you know, one of my first clients. And then, you know, we was able to get that popping, and now it's a bestseller.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We also did Ice-T book as well.
That's so cool. I love this.
Cross the Tracks, Boosie, Split Decision, Ice-T, Pimpology, Ken. And this is a classic. You can't find too many people in the game that haven't read Pimpology before they lost a game.
Now, do you drink?
No.
No drinks for you either?
I don't drink,
well,
I don't
the Bel Air
smoke, I
Barbie.
don't.
We gotta pop a Bel Air.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. I was in Atlanta. I just recorded Bomb Ass Pussy. I went to the club, Blaze, with a couple friends.
Okay.
We ended up
Is that a song?
Club Blaze.
So you rap too?
I made a song.
Okay.
Yeah, I play with this music shit. I love music. I love the culture. I love the industry. I'm too real of a bitch to play in the game. It's too fake for me.
Yeah,
but
fake.
I also can get in. Fararri Barbii can get in rooms that a regular hoe can't get in.
Yeah.
And I don't mean turning a trick or getting some money for an hour or something. I mean getting in there and being a bad bitch and seeing what people are looking at me and being able to say the right things to the right people.
Yeah, a good game.
So, yes, I've done some music, and it's fun.
Okay.
But I'm more about bringing real information to people who want to hear real shit, because like I said, everything is watered down. Everything is like
studio.
What's the word? It's just fake, but it's like they're like the girls, Cardi B, City Girls, stuff like that. Like they all want to be hoes, and it's all
facade.
It is. And so you don't want like a glass of champagne?
You can pour me some, but
thank you, Ginger. She's the best.
I think I'm gonna actually drink it.
Thank you. Here, babe.
That's one of the Barbie girls?
This is the Bad Bitch Bootcamp team.
Bad Bitch Bootcamp.
We're making basic bitches better.
Yeah, ain't nothing like better.
We can make basic bitches better and bad bitches better.
Yeah.
You know, bad bitches aren't just like, everyone needs some more game. We all want to learn from each other. And like I said, unfortunately, we don't have too many
Real
men
bitches
to follow these days. So cheers to Barbie's first boot camp. Thank you so much. But that's where I get to my next
question
segment. Real hoes have real questions.
Okay,
we want real answers.
Okay, come on, hoes.
Right, so real hoes have real questions. I personally asked a couple veteran friends of mine. I personally asked a couple vets that I know, if you could ask Pimpin any question with no consequences, what would it be? And can I tell you? Can I ask you a question? Okay. So,
ask him. Ask that nigga.
oh my gosh. Okay, let me get these questions. I'm so sorry.
Come on now, Barbie.
I
It
know,
don't take that long to get out the county jail.
It's the Bel Air. Okay, well here, let me just freestyle then. So, in the game, like we were talking earlier, if a bitch stays down and he's just a clown in his game, she's just paying the wrong pimp, right? But she's trying so hard to get her shit together and just do the right thing. She really believes in his pimping. She's investing her money, but she's getting nowhere. This bitch leaves and chooses a new pimp because she sees he's about his money and his bitches are fly and she wants to be just like that. Why is she called a faggot or choosy Susie when she just is trying to get where she wants to be?
Well, you know, it depends on hooray. Now it depends on the player, right? On the pimp. Like when a bitch fuck with me, she get in my pimp. The first thing I do, I teach a bitch how to choose up on the pimp. I say, send me his number, make sure he call me. I just want to know you all right, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I want him to have to call the hospital or the county jail looking for your motherfucker that had that pimp to serve me. You know, but some niggas, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, like, I'm the guy that usually do the knocking. I never got knocked. So I knock a nigga for his bitch, and he like, hey, man, I just want her clothes. Nigga, you finna wear them?
Right.
Fuck, you want the clothes? I want the ID. You want the ID? Man, that bitch a faggot, woo, woo, woo. I said, no, man, you bitch pimped on the bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she got some new instructions. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the instructions, the bigger the production. And, you know, a lot of dudes like that, they just ain't got no experience because real pimps know that the hoes belong to the community, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, if a bitch leave me, I'm gonna give her a Chinese name, one gone. Because, you know, I like to see a hoe go, when she goes, she gonna bump into two more coming into my door, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, real niggas ain't tripping because, you know, your course done ran out. You know, it's just only the suckers that do that sucker shit. That's why we call it mispimping, you know what I'm saying? Those ain't really pimps, those simps. Right. You know what I'm saying? They simping. You know what I'm saying? So that's some simp shit, you know. Hey, you know, she's a faggot bitch and all that. No, man, keep the bitch in the community. I'd be glad when the hoe go to another pimp. At least she didn't go to a square.
But sometimes the community drags her like that, like this choosing ass bitch, this faggot bitch.
Now,
you talking about is you talking about? But the pimp isn't looked like.
Well, to the pimp's defense, that says that, right? You got some women, you know, they play games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they play whole games. So what they doing is they being Susie Choosy. Now, Susie Choosy don't mean that a bitch is unhappy. Susie Choosy just means that she bouncing from pimp to pimp. Right. You know, she's playing with pimping. You know what I mean? So that's a faggot. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because she you know, one minute she with Ken, next minute she with Knox Bonds, next minute she with Murder Man, next minute she with Trill Wheel. She just bouncing. You know what I mean? She misguided and undecided. Right. You know what I'm saying? So what she need is she needs some stability in her life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's where, you know, the faggot and all that shit come at, right? You know what I'm saying? That is a faggot bitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, but if you just unhappy and a guy's not giving you what you paying for, then, you know, hey man, let the buyer beware. You know what I mean? You know, you have that option. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could go to the next one. You know what I'm saying? You can, you know, choose up. You know what I'm saying? You know, you might be getting bruised up. That's might be the reason why you choose up. You might be losing up. That's might be the reason why you choose. But as long as you choose and your choice be Rolls Royce. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Right.
100%. And the last one was, if you were on Drink Champs and they asked you, can women be pimps too? And you said, sure, they can be pimps. We don't respect them, but you can't be a pimp. They gotta be pimpers.
I mean, you know, pimping just in some cases mean put it in my pocket. Right. You know, I think females today, you know what I'm saying, they pay each other. You know what I'm saying? They pay each other, they put money in each other's pocket, they do this, they do that, but that's not the purpose of pimping. See, you could be a hostess, but you can't be a host. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could be a pimp, and you could call yourself a pimptress. Right. You know, because it's the feminine side. You know what I'm saying? You got a man in a womb bag. You're a man with a womb, so you're an incubator. So you understand me? So what you do is you take in stuff. You know what I mean? If I give you game, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna give me some money. If I give you a chicken, you're gonna cook me some food. Right. If I give you some sperm, you're gonna give me a baby. Right. You see what I'm saying? You're an incubator, and you also a helpmeet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're here to help a man to expand his horizon. Right. You know, you're here to make him better. Right. You know what a lot of women do is they complain. Where you going? Where you been at? Who's that in your phone? Who? You know what I mean? Yeah. And you complain, and they complain, and that, you know what I'm saying, is not a good rhythm to be matched. So, you know, it depends on, you know, the person, and, you know, it depends on the situation, you know, but every now and then, you know, a woman, you know what I'm saying, she may feel like, you know, that she can be a man but she can never be a man because I tell every bitch that say she a man, bitch, go to an island, bitch, and reproduce yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't go to an island, bitch, and make a whole bunch of men, bitch, then, you know what I'm saying, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And then, you know, like, you know, a bitch paying another bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know, that can be interpreted many ways, you know, because, you know, the bitch that she paying might have some game. I don't think she paying the bitch, she might be paying the game that this bitch got. You know, it's like a bitch pay a pimp, she ain't got to pay a pimp, hoes get the money first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The richest motherfucker on the planet is hoes at 8 o'clock at night. They got $1 million worth of trap.
Right.
You know what I mean? The pimps don't get rich until about 10, 11 at night when they check themselves, they break themselves. So, you know, hoes get the money first. And any wise pimp know that. He know that, you know what I'm saying, that the whole, you know what I'm saying, you got to have some good game, some good wisdom, some good knowledge to get the money from the hoe. So if a bitch is a soybean junior and she keeping her ears on record and a sponge on the absorb, she can absorb the game and she can go take that game and you know, you can see it, you know, if you've been around hoes that fuck with other hoes that call themselves pimp, they kind of saying the same shit that the pimp's saying. They just regurgitate what the pimp told them. And they flip the game on the bitch. And the bitch, you know what I'm saying, she just still, you know, like all bitches, looking for guidance, you know, looking for some a family, you know, looking for a father figure, looking for a mother figure. Right. You know, and if that person provide that need, then it's a 99.9% chance that they're gonna get paid because hoes don't care about the money. I mean, some of them don't. You know, I could tell. I'd be like, you make $1,000 a day, you give it to this nigga? Are you serious? Right. You giving him $1,000 a day?
Yeah, I see a lot of bad bitches with weak people. Yeah. Weak for sure. But I feel like that's because the industry is exploiting the game in a way that they're making it like trendy, like cool. But you can't call none of those girls a hoe. You can call me a hoe any day, but you can't call me a whore, you can't call me a slut, you gotta pay me. And so that doesn't bother me, but I live this shit, I portray this shit, I transfer my skills from the streets to the suites. I'm trying to transfer the same energy, but I'm gonna move the same way. And
Barbie, Fararri Barbii, that's what I want to teach these young people, you know, hey man, you know, what you go through, you grow through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you can change where you've been. A lot of times people don't understand, you know, when you meet people, you're not meeting the actual person, you mean their representative, right? That's why whenever I meet somebody, I step back and I look at them. And then I judge them because I don't want to make an emotional decision. How many times have you said, oh girl, that's my nigga, we finna party. And then you say, I can't believe this bitch just crossed me. You know what I'm saying? This bitch just did something foul, this faggot foul bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't judge the person properly. You emotionally judge the person and you judge the person emotionally. So a lot of times, you know, you just got to sit back, you got to, you know, wait and judge the circumstance and judge the situation, and then you can make an accurate decision. You know, I give an example. I was reading this book and they was talking about this guy by the name, I was telling my man Slab about this name John Blunt. John Blunt was a financier, you know, he was a businessman. He was one of the greatest businessmen of all times in England. And what he did was he got all of the powerful people, all of the, you know, the businessmen, the bankers to invest in this company that he had. It's called a shell company. They invested in this company. And he made a lot of money, made a lot of people rich. He made one lady so rich that she used to be a waitress. And she was sitting in the piers, in the VIP booth, watching, you know, a play, a Shakespeare play. And the lady that she used to work for looking up at her and said, how the hell you get in the booth? Wow. That's how much money that this guy was making for these people. What he was actually doing, John Blunt, was taking the money that he was getting from me and you and paying Peter. You know, Peter was robbing Paul to pay Peter. So Sir Isaac Newton, the guy, the great scientist, the smartest man on the planet at that time, he had 7,000 pounds, which is European money. He invested the 7 pounds into John Blunt Company, right? And what happened was he made 20 pounds. 21 pounds, he was triple his money. And then he said, he came up with the theory of relativity. What goes up must come down. So it's coming down. So he left. Then he went back into the game and he invested again. Wow. A month later, he lost everything. And he said, you know, I can understand, you know, how we can dissect animals. I can understand how we can go to the moon. I can understand how we can do all these fabulous things, but I can't understand how we don't understand human nature.
Yeah.
He understood at that point that was an emotional decision that he made, so he made that decision out of greed. You know, it was his greed that caused him to make an emotional decision. You know what I'm saying? But it's another thing called reason. And all of us is born and gifted with reason. Sometimes you got to have, you know, you got to read your reason. Your daughter are your own reasoning, so you thinking is reasoning. So if you see an ox, right? An ox is this big. Ox is strong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody say, "Oh, he's strong as an ox,"
right?
You know what I'm saying? But if I got a pistol and I'm a hunter and I point at that ox, you know that ox don't got enough sense to reason to say this man about to blow my brains out,
right?
And make some oxtails. You know what I'm saying? He don't got enough sense. The lion, the most ferocious, the most notorious of all jungle. They call him the king of the jungle.
Right.
You know what makes the lion so strong, so bad? It says, "Rrrr." That scared the shit out of other motherfuckers, animals in there. You know, but that's his strength. But, you know, he controlled the entire jungle. He's a ferocious hunter. But, you know, if a lion seeing a cow, you take a cow, cut the cow in half, and you just let the meat hang out, and you put him in a cage, you know the lion gonna go in that cage every time to eat that meat.
Wow.
And guess what? I'm gonna pull a lever, he's gonna become somebody's zoo animal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we got to think. As a man think he is, you know, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the mind believe and conceive, it can achieve. You have to reason. And your doubts are your reason. Never believe your doubts and never doubt your beliefs. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a winner never quit and a quitter never wins. So these are the important things that we must learn, and that's what we teach at the Hip Hop Fraternity. You know, I got Trill Will, I got Knox Bar, I got my man, Murder Man, Cash, H2. I got some of the biggest artists in the country that's a part of our organization. We got 30 chapters around the country,
Wow.
100 executives, and 4,000 members, and we can be found at thehiphopfraternity.com. I'm a literary agent. You know, I got Boosie movie coming out called The Making of Autobiography of Boosie. I got Ice-T movie coming out, The Making of Autobiography of Boosie. And we got the Hip Hop Fraternity Awards coming April 13th. So
I'll be there.
It don't make, you're going to be one of the hosts. It don't make a difference what you go through. You know what I'm saying? What you go through, you grow through. You understand what I'm saying? Fararri Barbii, always remember this, if you don't remember anything else. If all hell break out, if everybody leave you, if all the phone calls come in as negative, that's a good sign. Because you can't have a major breakthrough unless you have a major fall through. You know, the great guy that invented the plastic forks, he went to 20 banks. His wife said, "Go to one more." He went to the 21st bank. They gave him a loan. He's the richest man in the world right now. He's a billionaire. He said, "You know what? It is hardship that creates a man's character and a woman's character, because it allows you to recalibrate and become a better person."
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, all the things that we went through, you being in the whole game, me being in the pimp game, it was a prelude to who we are today.
Right.
You know, now we're gonna have a positive impact on young people. We're gonna change people's lives.
Yes.
And that's the goal, is to be able to change people's lives. See,
Yes.
you're not here for yourself. You're here for the goods you could be to others. Trust me. You could be here for the good of others. So therefore, you know, when you see people that come through life and they make contributions to society, in my book I said, don't let your history be a mystery. I'm always going to be writing books or doing something constructive, because guess what? I know I don't never want my history to be a mystery. You know, if you're going to remember the Egyptians, you're also going to remember Fararri and Pimping King.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on my first episode. I'm glad you're retired, because I don't think they could afford all this game. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.